It's time now for the Pure Channel 5 o'clock news on us, Wednesday evening, November 9th, 2016. Good evening, everybody. I am Peter Wiggins, and I have 5 o'clock news headlines on this Wednesday evening, November 9th, 2016. Top story at the 5 o'clock hour is U.S. Democrat presidential candidate Hillary Clinton pauses as she makes a concession speech after being defeated. Hillary Clinton pauses as she makes a concession speech after being defeated by President-elect Donald Trump in New York. They traded compliments during the campaign. Those compliments become part of the campaign itself. Then Donald Trump has won the U.S. Vladimir Putin, president of Russia, reaches out. Trump calls the end of the current crisis. At the end of October, Donald Trump spoke in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, really spent for his first 100 days office. The plan outlined three main areas of focus. Washington, included by imposing term limits of Congress. Protesters and supporters took to the streets across the country following Donald Trump's victory speech on Wednesday. Janesville, Wisconsin, House Speaker Paul Ryan is moving slowly, publicly, and probably to sync up with Donald Trump and sees a monumental opportunity to realize the conservative platform that the Speaker has spent years waiting to enact. The political earthquake that hit Tuesday night has enormous consequences, but the Supreme Court swallowing up Judge Merrick Garland's ill-fated nomination and dismantling the Democratic hopes for a liberal majority in the High Court for the first time. U.S. stocks jump along with bond yields after Trump shock and peso falls. Looking at the stocks now, up 236.95%, 18.59, 69, and 35, up 22.34%, 2,163.26, and Nasdaq up 57.58%, 5,251.07. As Donald Trump campaign progressed, Britain's June 23rd vote to leave the European Union was clear to mind. They will be soon calling me Mr. Donald Trump's promised to put America first self-propelled in the U.S. presidency, but he also unleashed uncertainty on the global economy by screwing trading partners and often infuse specifics that might become allies of businesses. Hillary Clinton agreed to support us at the limited concession speech on Wednesday. Man, that is painful. It'll be for a long time, said Mrs. Clinton. The Maricopa County lawman Joy Aprio received national attention for rounded up on documented agreements and forced inmates to wear pink underwear as the fall of Joy Aprio, America's most controversial sheriff. Husband and wife have been identified as the second and third bodies found in the Woodruff, South Carolina property of a suspected killer Tom Club, according to the Spartanburg County coroner. Advocacy organization working for the group targeted by the Trump campaign on losing open hours after the mogul pulled up in the Republican win in the presidential race. Miramar, California, 2 military jets were involved in the murder collision on Wednesday morning during the training session. The collision happened over the water about 11:43 a.m. Seoul, South Korean prosecutors raided the homes of 2 presidential aides. Seoul, North Korea continues to prosecute citizens for religious beliefs. Manila, in reversal, Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte approved plans to continue joint military drills with the United States, as Defense Secretary said. So, Japan and South Korea have agreed to hold a third round of talks after a military intelligence sharing deal. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil and the 40s began cleanup efforts after protesters broke into the legislature assembly in Rio de Janeiro during the anti-austerity demonstrations. Capital Afghanistan, Ashraf Ghani, the president of Afghanistan, met with Shala Kula, 17 Afghan girl. National Geographic covered was reported from Pakistan. Moscow, Dutch submarine in the burden to spy Russian aircraft carrier after reporting in the Russian Defense Ministry spokesman said Wednesday. Seoul, Republican President-elect Donald Trump's victory calls panic in South Korea's financial markets. Mosul, Iraq has gained control of parts of Intisar district while the Islamic State has deployed armed children in Mosul to give it the appearance of control. London. Another official said several people had died and more than 50 people have been injured after train derailed and overturned. Washington, after Republican Donald J. Trump was announced the United States President-elect, leaders worldwide sent congratulations. In Sacramento, voters in California and Colorado took action to fight where they see an enormous consumption of sugary soft drinks and sodas by issuing a tax on them. New York, President-elect Donald Trump spoke by phone with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and invited them to visit the United States for an in-person meeting. New York Defense Attorney for the 2 nephews of Venezuela's First Lady said that plans were novices are exploited by U.S. drug enforcement agencies and agents. New York Hillary Clinton publicly conceded the presidential election by saying that she hoped Donald Trump would be a successful president for all Americans. Washington voters in the District of Columbia overwhelmingly approved a ballot measure that in favor of petition of Congress become a state. Washington, Donald Trump mounted a significant victory in the Electoral College. Hillary Clinton has surpassed him in the national popular vote by Wednesday morning. Washington, 70% of Americans believe there is more crime than the last year, according to Gallup survey. Charleston, South Carolina, a judge has ordered a mental competency evaluation and men charged in shooting deaths at 9 parishes last year at Charleston Church. Sacramento, California passed an initiative calling for tougher gun law controls. Nevada approved a universal background checks and Maine rejected a similar initiative. Charleston, South Carolina, several police officers testified in the third day of testimony in the trial with former officer Michael Slager saying they think they struggle with Walter Scott. Washington, President Obama pledged a smooth transition policy and he's room for President Donald Trump to succeed. Looking at some local news, pollsters and many Americans were surprised that Donald Trump's upset win in the presidential race, but Patricia St. Albert of Norfolk said she has a feeling in the West Common. A long-time political activist, she said even since the FBI announced suspended review emails related to Hillary Clinton at the time of the Secretary of State, she thought she decided to treat as a Trump surrogate on TV. She thought that they don't expand the Trump campaign with no poll must effort. Found a search meeting was missing. Public polls were showing Hillary Clinton leading likely to win the presidency, but candidate for Trump, New Hampshire, St. Albert also notes in the fifth out of their candidate among voters that she thought was a brand and many of years not going to endorse making phone calls for campaigns. Easton police take him. The public's help in the local vehicle that may connected with a shooting in Easton which has left a Florida man in critical condition. Annabelle Cook on probation with a drunken driving his blame of a rice wine marinated meal he ate Tuesday night for a Franklin court-ordered birth test. Fox ran in leadership picking political leaders and voting on Christian policy issues. Tuesday's election in the Right Aaron School of polls also became somewhat what a referendum on Founders Day. Not found by police and alleged drunken driver was almost 3 times the legal limit for the intoxication in his car broke down and coming with Avenue Tuesday night. Plainville, a police officer and a 77-year-old woman escaped serious injury after the women's SUV and police cruiser collided on Route 1A on Tuesday. Norton police have seized a 40 caliber handgun and several rounds of ammunition and arrested a Rhode man on weapons charges early Wednesday around the area of the Burning Fields Furniture Store. Officers at East Main Street. Boston, Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker refuses to support fellow Republican Donald Trump's candidacy and questioned whether he had the trepidation to be president said Wednesday he was looking forward to the fortune task in the coming administration. Baker told boards that he's optimistic praised and consulted on both Trump's victories and a contentious speech given Wednesday by Democrat Hillary Clinton. Elder Baker was the first Republican governor in the U.S. to declare purposely that he would not support his party's nominee for the White House. He did not back Clinton either, and said Trump that he did not cast support in the presidential election. Boston petition Clinton may not be silenced and Kerry said waiting he will never be my president after Governor steps on Massachusetts State House following Republican Donald Trump's presidential election victory. Overnight, there was a knee-jerk panic and the global markets became clear that Trump was about to pull a stunning upset by defeating Hillary Clinton, Wall Street's favorite candidate. General Motors Company said it Wednesday to plan to invest more than $9 million, 3 plants of future product, but also reduce a shifting to small car plants in Lansing, Ohio to early next year to help with bloated inventory. We're much about President-elect Donald Trump's health care agenda is still unclear. The health and care industry initial response to the election has been scattered. Silicon Valley reels after Trump's election. Washington crude oil prices have moved involved in territory that mirror global market tragedy after publicly untested Donald Trump, one of the conservative U.S. president. Washington climate advocates say the momentum moved in to support a low-carbon economy can be driven by U.S. President Donald Trump despite his expected policies. Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, TACA, and energy company controlled by the Abu Dhabi government said the revenue was down 17% for the third quarter because of the drop in oil prices. London. After thinking, your focus told oil said it wasn't a merge that trended the market page but cut spending and ordered its West African forecast before the full recovery. Aberdeen, Scotland's Port Energy Company and an office in Scotland took on more North Sea assets in a $1 billion deal to acquire the British subsidiary of OMV. Monkeys regain control of paralyzed with help in the plant. Scientists say that they figured out why zebras missing plastic fruit might be able to help the humans get plastic gas for the birds' diets. After Tuesday's U.S. election upset climate change watchers and wonks are discovering that assess what that would mean if Donald Trump chooses where the ditches that simply failed to participate in the Paris climate change agreement. It's difficult whether the Donald Trump president mean the future of NASA. As newly elected commander chief said with little about space policy plans throughout the course of the campaign. A number of marijuana proponents say that caution about the future with the president-elect Donald Trump edited for the White House. Your love your smartphone might be when you use these and use it as devices that your bedtime and the search for the worst quality of sleep, according to the new study. In its 13-year history, Turner's biggest Cooper was a partnership with a Walgreens drugstore chain, announced in 2013 deal involving opening a store, but testing centers at 40 locations was supposed to be the first step in the building. There's a lot to love about a cold month. Let me go. In D1, Michigan, Muslim Americans greet with trepidation and some hope. No issue to define Donald Trump's candidacy as immigration as CNN announced the campaign last year by discovering immigrants from Mexico as rapists frequently talk about violent crimes committed by it and documenting grants of the South. Elizabeth Warren and Donald Trump have got it exactly a month long and much recent months Trump, Republican presidential-elect, most recently called. Warren said will continue to and claim the Native American ancestry. Now, Hillary Clinton began Tuesday on a hopeful note with a nation finance poll and analytics data indicates she'd be elected as first female president of the world's most powerful candidate. The pollsters were baffled by the results of yesterday's election results. Peter Chaladusa, Brazil 510 on this. Wednesday evening, and it's time now for New England Sport and Canada Road on Western News. 93 stop on the motor accident. Peter Children's time 510 time now for a sports report. Tonight, the Boston Celtics take on the Washington Wizards game time. 7 o'clock. Yet it was impossible to Conor McGregor standing his rep at the square garden court without taking at least one shot at the basketball. Chicago Bulls card. Dwayne Wade returns to Miami. Denver Broncos winner back. Kepler Bibbs earns a bigger role in struggling Buffalo's offense. The addition to on sites known that better than most of games against New York Giants and the Falcons turn on a blocked field goal return and a botched punt return respectively. Peter Children's time is 5:11 on this Wednesday evening, and it's time now for traffic and transit report. Baby! Let's imitate where the Green and T-Bridge Pierce and Model delays the disabled train. Red line. Trains at Pierce Model delays the southbound service today from JFK to UMass to North Quincy and on the commuter rail. Western train 5:51, 7:35 p.m. South Station to cancel the date. Passengers should take train 5:31, 7:45 p.m. from South Station. Cable train 2:24:30 p.m. inbound is open 5:30 minutes past between Lawrence and North Station. And Stoner train 9:19, 5:50 p.m. South Station. Cancel the day. Passengers to take train 9:21, 6:50 p.m. from South Station. And Providence Line train 8:20 to make the additional stops on Route 128. Canton Junction to accommodate passengers at the train rain 19. And on the ferries, they are looking good. Okay, look at that. I was in Boways around New England this Wednesday evening. Starting off down in Connecticut, where 95 on the northbound side it is back left from Greenwich all the way to Bridgeport. 95 southbound side back to the center of Greenwich. Merritt Parker eastbound side back to the north down to Bridgeport and Milford. 95 of both ends back around in Raven Stretch. 91 on the southbound side back around Route 95. Merritt Parker on the eastbound side back to the north down to Milford. Interstate 84 eastbound back to the Denver down to Newtown. And Route 7 on the northbound side back to headed towards New Milford. Route 8 on the southbound side is back around Interstate 84 and Waterbury. 84 both ends back around Waterbury. 91 on the southbound side is back around 691 in Middletown. 84 both ends is back around West Harvard and to downtown Harvard, Connecticut. 84 eastbound back to the after 91 downtown Harvard, Connecticut. 91 on the both ends back up from Route 20 Winslow all the way to Interstate 84 and Route 2 up in Hartford, Connecticut. Route 9 on the westbound side Little headed towards Middletown. 395 Lincoln from Newland all the way down to Auburn and Worcester. 91 on the both ends is backed up at 291 and 57 in Springfield. 291 on the southbound side is backed up after the Mass Pike in Springfield. Mass Pike interchange with Route 91 in Chicopee. It's a little slow. 91 on the southbound side is backed up around Northampton Stretch. Mass Pike on the westbound side is backed up at Charlton and on the Sturbridge. Interstate 84 both ends is backed up at Sturbridge. 290 on the westbound side is backed up around Worcester from 190 to Route 122 in Worcester. 495 on the northbound side of back around Route 20 Marlborough. 495 on the southbound side of back around Route 9 in Wellesley all the way from Westboro all the way out to Hopkins and from the Westboro Hopkins stretch of Route 495. 146 on both ends is backed up after Route 99. 295 in Lincoln with on. 95 on the southbound side is backed up and connected to downtown Providence. 146 on the southbound side is backed up at 59.5 to downtown Providence. Route 6 connected both ends is backed up from 6 to 95. Route 10 is backed up for 95 at Crescent and Providence. 95 both ends is backed up from 37 and walk all the way at to downtown Providence, and 95 southbound is backed up all the way at to East Greenwich. Route 195 westbound is very congested from Seekonk to downtown Providence. And in the Cape, Route 20 on the northbound side, little slow around in Bournebridge, 20 both ends back around Falmouth Stretch, but it's looking good on Route 6 from Sagamore down to Orleans, and the Bourne and Sagamore bridges are looking good. And southeastern Massachusetts, 95 and 7 go from 120 in Kenton all the way out to Norwood, and hit break again from 140 in Foxborough all the way out to 295 in Attleboro. 295 on the northbound side is backed up from 195 in Attleboro. 24 stop and go from 120 in Kenton all the way out to Route 140 in Taunton. Route 3 7 go from the Breakthrough Split all the way out to Hanover. Route 128 is very congested from Lexington all the way out to the Braintree Split. 120 northbound congested from the Braintree Split all the way out to Route 28 and Randolph and Hillsborough again from Great Plain Avenue and all the way out to Waltham. 120 on the northbound side. It's congested also from Lexington all the way out to Route 1 and PB. 97 is Preston, both ends backed up from Dutchess and Quincy, and 92 both ends Boston is backed up from the 7th express from Dutchess all the way out to the 2nd Bridge in Somerville. 93 northbound backed up all the way out to the Methuen stretch. Route 120 both ends back to 95 and Peabody all the way out to Denver. Route 3 on the northbound side is back to Burlington all the way out to Route 40 in Chelmsford. 495 on both ends back to Chelmsford all the way out to Route 93 in Andover. 495 on the northbound side is back to 28 in Lawrence all the way out to 213 in Methuen and after 213 in Methuen headed towards April. Down in 7 New Hampshire. AA for Turpac on both ends is back to the Manchester stretch. 93 on the northbound side back to Derry, New Hampshire to 293 in Manchester, New Hampshire. Everett Turpac on the northbound side is back to the Nashua all the way to Merrimack. 93 on the northbound side back to the Hoops and Toll Plazas. Bottom Turpac northbound side back to Newington around Route 4 in Durham. 95 on the southbound side is back to around Route 101 up in Hampton tolls. 93 on the northbound side back to Canterbury, New Hampshire. Howard and Byways at Maine, New Hampshire, Lincoln, Interstate 89. Northbound side is back around Burlington stretch. Interstate 87 southbound side Lewis around Route 11 up in Champlain, New York, and Hollywood 59. The northbound side backed up in Southern Quebec headed towards Montreal. And in Albany and vicinity, New York State 3 on Interstate 90 is slow between 77 and 40 and Albany. 87 both ends is back to the Colony out to Latham. Route 7 on the westbound side back around Route 9 and Latham and Interstate 87. Interstate New York State 3 westbound back to the east side at 890 in Schenectady. And New York State 3 is backed up between Interstate A141 and Syracuse. And New York State 3 is backed up around 390 Henry and 190 on the northbound side. It is backed up from the Thruway to downtown Buffalo. And New York State 3 is backed up between 290 and 190 in Buffalo. Peter Chandler's time is 5:16 on this. Wednesday evening, and it's time now for a weather report. And it turned out to be a decent day today with mix of sun and clouds. We had a few showers while I was on the Cape Woolong, and we had a few showers at the Cape. Alright, 7-day forecast goes like this. Today, a 12% slight chance of showers before 10 p.m. Then cloud skies with a low around 34 degrees and north about 8 miles an hour, Tuesday to 20%. For Thursday, south about 53 degrees and northwards with about 7 miles an hour coming southwest in the afternoon. For Thursday night, forecast about 40 degrees, southwest about 7 miles an hour. For Wednesday, most south about 57 degrees, southwest about 8 to 3 miles coming northwest in the afternoon. And Friday night, most clouds about 25 degrees. For Saturday, Sunday, most clouds about 45 about 30 degrees. Sunday, most clouds about 57 about 34 degrees. For Monday, most sunny forecast up to 16, low at 37 degrees. And for Tuesday, most sunny forecast about 50, low at 38 degrees. For Wednesday, forecast about 56 degrees. Right now, in Norton here, it is overcast and 58 and humidity 65. And Taunton here in Norton, it's 56 degrees overcast skies with humidity of 81%. And that's me for the Peter Channel, 5 o'clock Tuesday, and it's Wednesday evening, November 9th, 2016. I'm Pure. Will be a good evening, goodbye. See you at 11 o'clock for the late night report. Will be a good evening.